What is up? It's your boy Clear here. And today I want to talk with you about what it's like to be a Canadian living in America. Now, I'll give you a bit of a backstory, okay? I'm from Vancouver, BC, and my first time ever going to LA was 2015. And I'm a singer. It felt natural to check out the city. So I went for a week and I filled my schedule with anything that I could find to do that felt music related. So I asked some people who I knew in the community in Vancouver who they could link me up with. I had some sessions. I lived in this grapefruit tree in the backyard. And I remember just like the most incredible Cali Kush smoking in and walking out into that backyard and just devouring this grapefruit fresh off the tree. And it was such a new experience for me, the intensity of the sunlight in the city, and spending time with Chin and Jetty, being at his studio in LA in the arts district. It was a great trip. It was an amazing trip. And I started saying at that point, I'm going to move to LA in a year. I'm going to move to LA. I had no idea how. I just started saying it. And so lo and behold, that summer, I ended up in the south of France in Cannes at this festival called Midem. It's kind of like South by Southwest, but in Europe. And I ended up meeting someone on a whim in the middle of the night at the beach. I had my band with me as with Dave Morin, and I fell in love with this person. We had an incredible exploration all around Europe, and he was from LA, and I ended up visiting him every month from there on out until I moved down here. So that was how I first started living in America. I started coming down here, and I was in that relationship for a couple of years, but 2.5 years. And during that time, I built a lot of community down here in Los Angeles. And it was about 6 months after I left that relationship, was up in Canada, when I started coming back down again to have more sessions, etc. And that was really when I started realizing, yo, like I need to make my own home in Los Angeles. And so the thing is that as a Canadian, I can only legally spend 6 months per year out of every 12 months actually in the country of America. So, needless to say, I had to do a lot of moving back and forth. LA, I love it. There's so much to do here, so much to explore, and it's such an incredibly abundant place. I think in large part because of how much sunlight there is. And of course, the entertainment industry, there's so much going on here, and there's a lot of history, right? It's like the Mecca worldwide. That's why it attracted me, right? And so many other people. So LA is great. Boom, boom. Uh, and yo, I see you in the chat. I appreciate you. You bought the new single? Fuck yeah. Appreciate you, Anarchy. Thank you. And thank you for the compliment about my beauty as well. Appreciate you. So, when I wasn't allowed to be in America, when I wasn't allowed to be in LA, I honestly didn't really feel like being up in Vancouver. It's a gorgeous place. I'm very grateful to be from Vancouver and to call it my home and to have my family there. And the city feels a little small for me. So I started going to Toronto. And Toronto, I felt like the community just embraced me immediately. There was so much art, so much culture, and so many people who were trying to build their skill set and their community up, 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 up. That was something I had not experienced in the same way in Vancouver. And I'm really excited to go back to Toronto this summer. But needless to say, my friends, I've been hopping between these three cities for the past 5 or 6 years. And it's very interesting to now be looking back on my 20s and being like, wow, like I've really been moving. And here I am. It's 11 p.m. at night right now. And I've just finished packing to go back up to Canada. And I'm now in a place where I'm actually getting work visas. So I can actually be down in the States for more than 6 months a year. And I had a year-long work visa. It was great. And then I applied for a 3-year, and because of he who must not be named, he canceled all the visas last year, and so the only two visas that I can get, the P2 visa and the O1, those were the only two left for anybody. So a lot of people started applying for them, and they got oversaturated, so it was very hard to receive them. So needless to say, my friends, I was turned down for the 3 year. God's plan, it's all good. So I got to go back up to Canada to reapply for my 1 year visa, which I must apply for up in Canada. So that's all kind of like boring admin stuff. It's not really necessary for you to know about it, but I share it with you because it is quite complicated for me to be a Canadian who has built a life and a home in a different country in America, in Los Angeles, and I would not change it. I'm very, very grateful to get to be here and play here and grow here. And I think that this process has pushed me to grow. It has pushed me to to embrace the necessity that I keep leveling up. And I really believe that if I had stayed in Vancouver or Toronto, I would not have grown into the person that I am. Not just because this city, Los Angeles, challenges me to become more of a boss, a better entrepreneur, and of course, there's tons of music here, but there's a lot of music in Toronto too. I love making music up there too. It's a different grind down here, though, that I do appreciate. I really appreciate that. And I think that has made me the person I am. So that's one thing I love about it. And the other thing is that I think being up in Vancouver, I'll speak on Vancouver, there's this feeling that people have seen me grow up and expect me to remain at least a similar person to who I've been. But the truth is that I've needed to grow. I've needed to grow on my own terms without people watching me and commenting, without my family around. I think that's like the biggest piece is not being in the same city as my family has been very, very healthy for me to grow who I am. And I'm super grateful that I've had the opportunity to do that. And also that I've pushed myself to do it. It's taken courage. Even I remember one night right before I moved to Toronto without anyone. It was like my first time moving somewhere without a buddy coming with me or a partner coming with me. I was so anxious. My body was just of anxiety. And what I did was I lay on a bolster on my back, like a yoga bolster, and just like let my chest stretch open and just allow this anxiety just to vibrate through me. It was super intense. I was on that bolster for 45 minutes, but I did it. I moved across the country and it's been a lot of moving. And I think it's cool though, because it's like I have these in my life. I have these chunks of time where it's very much an ending and a new beginning. And I know that when I come back to LA at the end of this summer, it's going to be a completely different era. I will have progressed more in my transition. The testosterone will be sitting in my body in a different way. I'll have seen my parents. Like I'm about to go see my family for the first time since I had my breasts removed and since I started seeing changes from the testosterone and have really grounded myself in a way that seen. They've never seen and felt me this grounded before. So I'm really excited to go up and see them. I'm so excited to see family. By family, I mean non-blood family, but like soul family in Toronto. I haven't been there for almost a year and a half. So while I love having these three homes, there's also this sense of I can never be somewhere where all my loved ones are. And you know what? That's just abundance at the end of the day. I'm fine with that. I have a lot of people who I love in my life, and I celebrate that. I celebrate that. So, my friends, that's what I'm going to say for now. I just wanted hop on. Anarchy Monroe, transitioning can be amazing. You're so right, and it is. It's been so amazing for me, and I'm just at the beginning of my transition, but it really is one of the greatest gifts that I've ever had, if not the greatest gift. You know, I think as humans, it's rare that we actually get to change our avatars in the course of one lifetime, and the fact that I get to experience that is just a grand blessing. So, that's my take on what it's like being a Canadian in America. Again, this is just a little tiny sliver of my perspective and what it's been me to move between these three cities. And I don't think I would have gone to Toronto when I did if I hadn't have been forced to leave America. So I really relate my relationship to the city of Toronto with the fact that there are these restrictions for me to be here in America. And I'm grateful for it all. It's been all such an important part of my journey. And I'm grateful for every step of it because it's brought me to where I am today. Needless to say, you guys, I am feeling very tired. I have been preparing for my journeys. I'm going to be gone for 3.5 months. Um, there's admin to we got paperwork to do, but at the end of the day, that's okay. Like this, that's what adulting is, right? There's always paperwork to do. There's always some more work to be doing. Aw, Anarchy, hugs to you too. Thank you so much for being here, for being in the chat. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And my loves, that's all for now. I'm gonna go and make myself some chocolate chip cookies because I gotta finish that cookie dough before I get on the plane. Am I right? Yes, and they are going to be chewy. They are going to be chewy and soft. Okay, my friends. Well, with that, I'm feeling crystal clear. I am feeling clear as day. And I am